Okay, this is Roby, AJ4F, and now we're going to do a sort of a walkthrough of remote ham radio. I'll get on the app, the desktop app. I'll log in, and then I will connect to a station, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so here's the login screen. Pretty straightforward. Assuming I can remember my password. Okay, so we're in, and here's what the system looks like. Over here on the left-hand side are a list of all your stations. And if you remember when we looked at the list of stations in the video of the website, you can see that they were scattered up and down the East Coast. There are a few on in the Southeast, here Wilkesboro and Atlanta, and a few in the W7 land. I'm not sure where W0 Meeker is. I believe it's probably in Minnesota. We have a couple of DX stations. We have 3 in Croatia, and we have KP4, and we have a station in Haiti. So we'll pick a station. We'll do this is one I like to use. It's not a very expensive one, so we'll take this approach. So we connect to it. This is a 100-watt station, and you can see the price of 19 cents a minute. And we're connecting using WebDX, which means I have a microphone. As you can tell, I have the microphone on here. So we will connect to it. And you should be able to hear the 10-meter sideband. So here's a little bit about the way this is all laid out. As I said, here's the stations. Here is the frequency display, and I really don't know why it stopped panning, but I've seen that happen several times. Anyway, here's the frequency display. Here's the front end of the radio that where you would normally see a lot of buttons. This tells me I'm on VFOA. This is the frequency I'm on. This little red badge tells me that this is my transmit and my receive, and the blue badge tells me it's my receive VFO. So I'm not split or anything like that. I'm on 10 meters. I'm on upper sideband. I got noise reduction, noise blanker. Here's all the standard receive and transmit functions. Push to talk I have set up to be the control on my keyboard. And here's the way here's the antenna window. Shows me where the antennas are pointed. Now this station has an off-center fed dipole at 100 feet. So it doesn't have rotatable antenna. This is fixed, but this can show you the primary pattern of that antenna, and it's actually pretty good. We'll look at maybe we'll look at another station in a few minutes, and you can this is where you would rotate your antenna. Here's my actual log. I type in the call sign of the station that I'm going to work here, the signal report, any sort of notes. And whenever I click this little checkbox, it will log it. So just below that, there's a number of features, number of things. You can chat with other stations, other operators that are working these stations by clicking this box, and it's just text chat. Here's the log that I'm using. You can see the last station I worked was earlier today. It's Papa 40 Lima on 10-meter sideband, and I worked him from the W2 Summit station, which is this station here, and that station is in northern New York. The signal report, and this tells me which logbook I'm in. You can make several different logbooks, and you can give them names. Here's DX spots. Let's see what happens if I double click on the spot. Okay, it didn't take me anyway. let's see here. I have options. I can click here, I think, and it will take me to that frequency. I can turn and tune the radio. I can tune the radio only. Anyway, I've not used much of this, but you have very you have a lot of options that you can use. This is data on my station. This is a W1 Chaplin station. It's in Connecticut. Tells me the radio that I have and how much power. You can see all the antennas are the same. It's 100 an off-center fed dipole at 100 feet, which is pretty good antenna. The DX calendar is upcoming and current DX DX expeditions, DX opportunities, and you can see that here. And this one is some news about the remote ham radio. So you have to be kind of careful with how you use your mouse. If you're, depending on where you are, which little quadrant you are, different things happen. So up here, for instance, it spreads out the frequency, display by rotating the mouse wheel. If I'm here over this button, it actually changes the frequency. And then if I'm in the log window, it scrolls me up and down in the log. So it has different functions depending upon where it's posted. So if you want to select another band, here's your bands. You can choose, another band by clicking it. And I wonder if we even have that one. So it tells me I'm out of the band. So this has some pretty neat features, I think. And now I click down, I'm down on one of the FT8 frequencies, so you can hear FT8 there. So I'm going to take a second and I'm going to disconnect and I'm going to reconnect. And see, I got my waterfall back. And like I said, this seems to be an issue with Windows 11, which is this computer I'm using is on Windows 11. So I don't seem to have the same issue with Windows 10. So that's the kind of the way this works. So we can click here and we can pick up a mode if we wanted to go to FT8. You see, I have well, for some reason, it did not. Okay, there we go. You can see some of the stations that are here. The decodes, FT8 decodes. This is my TX frequency. I can move my TX frequency like moving the cursor across the upper part of the screen, and left clicking, or excuse me, right clicking will move my TX frequency. Right clicking will move my receive frequency. So let's let this thing decode for a minute and let's see if we can work somebody with this this particular setup. Let's try this guy in Cuba. So I'm transmitting. This is similar to the standard WSJTX window. It's you can see what you're transmitting here. It's in yellow. And there he goes. He came back to me. I'm giving him my report. Pretty similar. Seems like if T8 used to seem pretty fast, now it seems like kind of like it's in slow motion, but that's the way it is with the digital modes for you guys that use them. We're calling again, so he didn't respond. Let's see what happens. Okay, maybe we're not going to have good luck with this one, but you can kind of see how this works. I'll give one more try. Okay, so no luck there, but that's not uncommon, working different stations. Maybe we can try the ZL. Maybe we'll have better luck with the ZL. And again, the Windows 11 problem, for some reason, this waterfall freezes from time to time. And as I said earlier, it doesn't happen that way with Windows 10. You can, this is how you enable TX. You can transmit odd, transmit even. It's like I said, it's like WSJTX, but it's different. It's very similar, but it's different. It takes a little bit of getting used to become a proficient operator with it. Okay. You can change receive and transmit frequencies here. You can actually, it has a feature to find a gap to transmit in, which is pretty good. And you can use, you can go into the hound mode if you're trying to work a station that's a Fox. So you'd put your call sign in here, and then with WSJTX, whenever you have it'll pop up with this, with this FT8, it'll pop up a log window here, and you click on that, like, again, very similar to WSJTX, and it'll put all your log data down here, and you'll see it in your log. So if you want to operate sideband, you can just click this, and let's get the volume down. So we'll have to go to let's see, I'm going to do this again to get my window back. Oh, it's WWV. How about that? Let's see if we can get okay, so we better try another band. Doesn't seem like there's much sideband activity. Let's try 20 meters. So you can hear the station and how you set the frequency. You can roll it here or there, but or you can set it up here with the windows. Now, so I have in a help ticket about this freezing of the waterfall, and I haven't gotten a response yet. So it's something I need to follow up with, because it is a little bit frustrating. But so obviously the system's not perfect. So if you want to work CW, you can just click CW here, and we'll move down to another way to change the frequencies. So huh. So we just have to, find an active station to listen to. So it takes a little bit getting used to select the right frequency, but this is giving you an idea of some of how it works. Now to transmit, I mentioned that you have to transmit using macros. Here's your CQ macro. This is my call sign. So if I hit F2 on the keyboard, it sends my call sign. It'll call CQ. It sends, the other station's call sign and thank you, that sort of thing. You can edit these macros. You can make them pretty much anything that you want. You have kind of a run mode as well, very similar to N1MM. You also have phone macros where you can record and preview and erase these. So you can use this again, very similar to N1MM, how they, how they have voice storage within the program. And up here, you can set different functionality. Like I said, the push to talk key, the standard one is control. There's a theme as far as how the program is, presented, light or dark, whatever the case might be. You click done and it saves the changes. So it's pretty good in a lot of ways. Let's see if we can. So as you can see, it takes, because there's so many different operations that you have to go through that are different than pushing buttons on the radio. It takes you a while to get accustomed to this, to figure out how to do it and be proficient at it. Excuse me. I'm not very proficient at this point, but as you can see, I have make a number of contacts, so it can be done. And that's why I stated in my little upfront presentation that the learning curve is kind of long for this because there's so many things to do. So that's sort of it in a nutshell. It's worth a try, particularly for a guy who does not have a good antenna and a good location, because you can choose from these different stations in different parts of the country that may give you a geographic advantage due to propagation. And for DX countries and DXCC, the only requirement for location is that you be in one country. So you can use any location in the US and still get credit for countries worked. That's not true for, there's a distance limit for worked all states for the VUCC, the VHF, UHF Century Club grid squares thing. Let's see, what else can I say? There are a lot of modes here that I have not experimented with. It says ready, which I'm sure you'll be able to do that. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I want to show you about CW. With CW, this is the keyboard function. Let me get out of away from where this guy is, so I won't cause him any interference. But my cursor is in the CW block there. So if I go, it types whatever I say. What it sends whatever I type in there. So there's a little bit of stuttering, it appears, and I think that's due to the latency of the link. I don't think the CW sounds that way over the radio, but haven't tried that. Anyway, so that's kind of my, oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to show you about log. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect here, and I'm going to connect up here to my logbook. And this is where you go to export or import, export files and the like. So here's the dates and the stations I've worked. The station that I use to work them, see, all of them have been Chaplin except this last one, which is the W2 that, the Northern New York station, W2 Summit. Worked P40 on 10 meters, 10 meter sideband. So I can export. When I do, it gives me, I can download an ADIF file. I can download a comma separated variable file. I can export only the contacts that have been unexported, or I can set a date range, or, I have numerous options. Now this field is for adding a station location into the ADIF file. And most of us won't have to do that, but if it can be convenient, because you need that in order to have the right data uploaded into LOTW. If you're going to do it in an automated way, this is something you have to worry about. What I do is I download my contacts in the ADIF file mode. Then I import them into DX Keeper, and DX Keeper has station locations for all the stations I've used, including the remote ham radio stations. And I have a corresponding TQSL station location. So when my data gets uploaded into LOTW, it has the right QTH, it has the right state, the right county, the right zone, the right grid square, all that stuff. So if you had worked AJ4F from FN31, that's what you'll see in LOTW. You'll see I'm in Connecticut. I'm in, I believe it's Windham County, zone CQ zone 5, ITU zone 8, so on and so forth. So that's the way it works. Anyway, I hope this is useful for you. I would like, hopefully it will give you enough information that if you're interested, you can kind of see how to get started with this. And if not, that's okay. Like I said, this is an experiment that I wanted to, that I'm doing, and I'm sharing all this information with you. Hopefully it'll benefit some of you. So if you have questions, you know how to get in contact with me over the TDXS reflector or otherwise. I'll be happy to try to provide any guidance maybe to get you started. And I would appreciate it if you guys do experiment with remote ham radio or any other remote uh, setup, whether it be a commercial one, uh, like remote hams or remote ham radio, or whether it's something you're doing yourself. I would greatly appreciate if you'd share your experience with the rest of us, because I think it's something that we all will be doing. We may not be doing it all now at this time, but I think in 5 or 10 years, I think it'll be almost everybody will have will have participated in remote operation in some way or the other. All right, thanks.